start.
Coming up on this edition of Ice Warriors, intense playoff action as Humberside and Cardiff lock horns. A complete roundup of all the quarter-final action as we bring you goals from around the country in Championship Rink Roundup. And your chance to be at Wembley as we give away tickets for the best weekend in the ice hockey calendar. Humberside Ice Arena, venue for Humberside Hawks against the Cardiff Devils. Two teams treading the knife edge between a season ending in disappointment and a visit to Wembley. We're now just a handful of games away from the climax of the season, and the first couple of weekends of playoff games threw up some shocks, great intensity and some controversy too. There was an incident between Durham and Humberside in their game in Sunderland on the first Saturday of the Championship quarter-finals. The incident happened during the warm-up, and the game did start with the Hawks taking the lead. That was after 28 seconds, but after just 58 seconds of play, the police arrived, wishing to interview the players involved in the earlier confrontation. The teams were forced to leave the ice and the game was abandoned, with Wasps' Ross Lambert and Jonathan Weaver facing charges and Humberside's Bruce Bell taken to hospital. Well, that game was played again a couple of days later. More of that in a moment, but first though we'll round up all the action so far in the playoffs. The opening Saturday of the 1996 Championships produced a surprise 5-2 win for Basingstoke over treble chasing Sheffield, a narrow 5-4 win for Nottingham at home to Fife, the abandoned game in Sunderland, and a shutout for Cardiff in Newcastle. Sunday Group A games produced a record home defeat for Fife and the lowest scoring playoff game ever. Nottingham 1, Basingstoke 1. Group B provided the surprise with Durham's winning Cardiff, and new Humberside coach Keith Melench saw his team eclipse Newcastle. Basingstoke continued to set the pace in Group A with a narrow win over Fife, while Sheffield cruised to an 8-0 win over Nottingham. In Group B on the second Saturday, Durham took an iron grip by completing a double over Cardiff with a close 3-2 win. So before the round of games, including our featured match, the two playoff groups look like this. Basingstoke top Group A with 5 points, Sheffield have 4, Nottingham 3, 5 have yet to break their duck. Durham are in the driving seat in Group B, 6 points, 3 wins from 3 games. Humberside and Cardiff both have 2 points, but the Devils have played 1 game more. Newcastle have yet to pick up a point. Well, it's a fascinating situation. With me is former player and coach Bob Correll. What have you made of the playoffs to date?
I think they've been great so far, Steve. We've had a lot of very, very close games, and I think that's what playoff hockey is all about. So, you know, if that's what we've got to look forward to, boy, I tell you, we've got a great time ahead of us.
The Cardiff Devils have a great pedigree, a great past, and they were runners-up in the league. So the fact that they're not top of the group, they're in 3rd place, is that a bit surprising?
It perhaps is a bit surprising, but I think one thing that we have to really point out is the fact that playoff hockey is a completely different spectrum, and I think that you look to other aspects of your game to get the job done in the playoffs. It's the team that wants it the most that's going to come through.
Well, Humberside have jazzed themselves up a little bit just by changing their coach, Keith Millhedge replacing John Griffiths. What about Keith Millhedge? What can you tell us about him?
Well, I know Keith, you know, was involved in the Bracknell Bees program a few years ago, and, you know, I think he originally came to this country, if you like, on a non-ice hockey basis. But, you know, he does have some experience in ice hockey. He did a very, very good job with the Bracknell Bees when he was there. He's now moved, I believe, his business operations up into the Humberside area, and he's been given another opportunity to come and coach the Humberside Hawks. And sometimes, Steve, a change does all the difference in the world for a team, especially in the playoffs. So perhaps this is going to jeer them forward and give them that little bit of extra need there, if you like, to get them through in this tough competition.
Well, let's take a look at what kind of a team Keith Millhedge has.
The Humberside Hawks, I think if you had a description of them, they're a bump and grind style of team, but they can add that little bit of finesse when it's needed. They work the puck very well. They've got a lot of key players, if you like. They've got good, strong skills. But at the end of the day, when the playoffs come around, you need those guys that are going to go that little extra mile. And this is, I think, the best way to describe the Humberside Hawks. They get in a situation, they play well in their own rink, work very hard, and it may not always look pretty, but they get that job done.
Well, one point you made there, Bob. In their own rink, they are very strong in this barn.
You know, that's been a key all season long in terms of ice hockey in the Premier Division. But the thing is the Humberside Hawks, it's a different rink. They got those big, wide corners, and it's very, very hard for, if you like, defensemen coming in, opponents' defensemen. They find it so difficult out there, that little bit of extra room, and it plays havoc on them, especially in the defensive zone.
Well, the team coming into this rink for this game are the league runners-up, the Cardiff Devils.
The Cardiff Devils, I think if you had to speak about them, one thing you can say is they are loaded, and I repeat, loaded with natural talent. They have got so many players that have natural scoring ability, and you give them that little extra step, and boy, are they going to take a mile on you. But the biggest thing about them as well is they've got that added depth, and they're not scared to use it at any time. They move their players around a great deal. Different players playing in key situations. At the end of the day, they get the result. They've got a lot of good experience, and playoff hockey is all about experience.
They haven't exactly had a good start, though. Do you think they can pick themselves up for a game which is going to be very intense?
I think the group at the moment, Steve, is looking like it's going to be down to the results between the Humberside Hawks and the Cardiff Devils. And it's all to play for at this point in time, you know, so it's whatever team does the job on the night that's going to get there in the end.
Well, 1 or 2 points to look out for during the game ahead. First, though, hockey fans are already very well aware that if Sky Sports are in the building, then look out for Gia Milinovic.
Well, the playoffs are just around the corner. We're all really looking forward to them. It's going to be a huge, big party weekend, and some people who are ready for that party are these crazy Cardiff fans. Who all's going to Wembley? Yes! Now, when did you have to get your tickets for Wembley?
December.
In December. And they're all sold out now, aren't they?
Yes, all sold out, yes.
Now, who is going to Wembley over Wembley? Are you going to Wembley?
If we can get tickets. We all want to be there when the Hawks win the playoffs.
Well, if you want to join us all at Wembley and you don't have tickets yet, well, stay tuned because we've got a competition for you. The playoff finals at Wembley are the climax to the ice hockey season with a great weekend of action guaranteed. Wembley is already a sellout, but if you are unable to get tickets, then now's your chance. Ice Warriors has a pair of Wembley season tickets to give away. That's seats for you and a friend to see both the semifinals and the final. All you have to do is answer this question. Who did the Sheffield Steelers beat in the final last year to win the championship? Was it A, Cardiff, B, Edinburgh, or C, Blackburn? Who did the Sheffield Steelers beat in the final last year to win the championship? A, Cardiff, B, Edinburgh, or C, Blackburn? To enter the competition, ring with your answer to 0891 40 50 16. That's 0891 40 50 16. And the closing date is Monday, the 25th of March. Good luck. Okay, well, it's time for a break. Go and make yourself a cup of tea. When you come back, join us for the first period of the Humberside Hawks versus the Cardiff Devils from the Humberside Ice Arena in Hull. See you after the break.
Humberside Hawks and Cardiff Devils chasing Durham in Group B of the Championship quarter-finals. Will the Hawks or the Devils make Wembley? This game will have a big say, and your commentary team for the match is Bob Correll and first Tony Milan.
Yes, it's bound to be a tough match because only one of these teams surely will make it all the way to that Wembley arena. The Humberside team we start with, the players etched in yellow start the match. 28-year-old John Wolf's bound to have an influence. He's in goal. Mike Bishop's their captain, a big defenceman. Ian Pound and Barclay Pearce started the season with Milton Keynes. Cam Plantis with his third club this season. Big Mark Hazelhurst will be an influence on defence. And Derek Laxdell, there's an experienced player from the NHL. He'll score plenty of goals. For Cardiff, 16-year-old Stevie Lyle starts in goal. Doug McEwen's an ever-present and has been for some years for Cardiff. Steve Moria and Randy Smith banging goals aplenty between them. They certainly did in the regular league season. Ivan Matulik's a Slovak international. Big Mike Ware will have an influence. And the Cooper brothers, Stephen on defence and Ian up front, will surely play their part. Tonight's referee there is David McGowan. He's a doctor from San Jose in California. He's an eye specialist, so he should see things pretty well here this evening. Humberside Hawks wear the white strip, that's the lighter colours, as the home team here this evening. The Cardiff Devils, well, they're in red, green and black, the darker strip. And away we go with Cardiff in possession. Stephen Cooper. This is Moria, number 19, as the Devils fire the puck straight into the Humberside defensive zone, where Graham Garden chases back. Once again, Bob Correll alongside me. One has the feeling the first goal could be quite important.
It will be. Cardiff coming after a very tough game last night in Durham. We'll be looking, I should say, to try and get some form of an early result here. They're obviously on the road, and all this is to play for.
Well, the new coach there for the Humberside Hawks is Keith Milhenge. The 40-year-old is a pharmaceutical engineer as a full-time employment, but he's got quite a hockey pedigree, Bob.
He does, and he works his guys very well. He's a tremendous motivational coach. He gets his guys geared up, and he takes the game very seriously.
Some idea of the pace at which the game is going to be played. We've been playing just 25 seconds, and both teams have already changed their lines. The face-off, though, deep in the Cardiff defensive zone. 7 taking it for Humberside. That's Phil Huber. Cardiff come away. Mike Bishop, the Humberside captain, fires the puck in deep. Gregoire recovers. Shannon Hope is 35 for Cardiff. Chris Imers wins it. But Cardiff get it back through Gregoire. Ian Pound fires it in for Humberside. 20 is Randy Smith for Cardiff, but a good interception there by Mike Bishop, the Humberside captain. And Humberside, one has the feeling, are breaking things up in the neutral zone and firing it straight back in.
The Humberside defense standing their ground very well. Any opportunity, what are they doing? They're dumping that puck very deep back into the zone, making it very difficult for Cardiff to come out.
And Cardiff continue to be forced back in their defensive zone there. But away comes Humberside as they force the puck out. First save of the match there from Stevie Lyle. Ivan Matulik firing it in for Cardiff. Knocked away by John Wolfe, the Humberside goaltender. And here come the Hawks with Cardiff changing on the fly. Great skating for the giant Ian Pound. Graham Garden can't get his shot away. Cardiff break out. This is the veteran Doug Smale with the shot just off target. Rob Millett, the most recent signing, is 77 for the Devils. 55 is Stephen Cooper. Cam Plant, relatively new signing for Humberside. 33 though is the experienced Derek Laxdal. Cardiff hold it in as Rob Millett fires it round the boards. Doug Smale's on the chase, but Ian Pound clears the danger. Graham Garden with the shot, knocked away by Stevie Lyle, but hits the boards at the back, and that means a face-off down to the right of Stevie Lyle's goal.
Very typical playoff hockey. Teams changing very fast, as you said, Tony. Dumping the puck deep in the zone. Any sort of opportunity that they have whatsoever, what are they doing? They're getting that shot on the goalkeeper, because shots come far and few between when you're playing playoff hockey. And another thing to look out for those big hits out there. We saw Mike Ware with a couple early in this game to try and set the stage.
Cardiff, of course, having lost 2 of their 3 games so far. A little bit of a surprise that. But Humberside on top at the moment. Darcy Cahill is round behind the net. And Stevie Lyle throws himself on there. Better safe than sorry.
I think it's fair to say as well, Tony, that Cardiff have had a very difficult run. They've played Durham twice, or I should say twice so far. And they've ended up on the short end of the stick, but they've been very, very tight games.
Humberside strong early on here, but here comes Cardiff. It's the back of Ian Cooper's skates. Bill Huber, but it's won by Doug McEwen. Could this be the first goal? Great cover though by Cam Plant for Humberside. And here comes Kindred. He's hooked down there, but that's surely going to be the first penalty of the game. It will be, and it's called by David McGowan, the referee, and the power play very quickly. The first one of the game will come the way of the Humberside Hawks.
Mike Kindred find himself in a very unique situation, but Stephen Cooper in that situation really had no alternative, because it was a 1-on-0 against Stevie Lyle if he wasn't going to haul down Mikey Kindred.
3.5 minutes gone. There's Mike Bishop with the shot, knocked away. The rebound almost put in by Barclay Pearce, number 16 for Humberside, on the edge of the crease there, but Stevie Lyle was equal to it. All the pressure at the moment from Humberside with a man advantage. Back on the blue line is Mike Bishop. The shot on point. There goes Bishop's shot, knocked away. The rebound put in there. Great start there. Really, I think that was a great effort there.
Humberside moving the puck around very well. Keying on the guy that shoots the puck so well, too. But the rebound is the judge at the end of the day. Mike Bishop, he's got a great slap shot from the point anytime he uses it, but it's Derek Laxdal there with the rebound to give Humberside the lead.
Six for Humberside. The giant defenseman is Ian Pound. Plenty of space on the ice at the moment with just under a minute remaining on the penalty. The 2 men in the box, Rob Millett and Mark Hazelhurd. 21 is Darcy Cahill. Could this be number 2? Great effort! Darcy Cahill scores the second for Humberside Hawks. Darcy Cahill's 23rd goal since joining them. 2 so far. That makes 3 in the playoffs. 20 in the regular season. Darcy Cahill is hot.
A player with natural capabilities. Look at the move he makes here on a very good defenseman, may I add, but he shows the composure at the time that's needed. He could have shot this puck, just hangs on to it, right around and puts it into the back of the net.
Cardiff winning the face-off there, and now with something of a mountain to climb, Bob, and the playoffs aren't going exactly the way the Devils would have liked.
Certainly not. This is a very, very important game for them. They find themselves 2 down. But I think we have to say that if any team has the depth in the country to come back from a 2-goal deficit, it has to be the Cardiff Devils. They've got a tremendous amount of natural talent if they can group it together.
Shannon Hope in possession. That's 35. Checks back on himself. Tries to create space. Finds it for Greg Ware. Over the edge of the crease. Shope with a great chance. Chance here for Greg Ware. Yes, it is. The first one pulled back by Greg Ware for Cardiff Devils. A fine goal. Shannon Hope, the architect. Greg Ware, the executioner.
It is very important to try and keep that puck deep in the zone. And the Devils do a very good job of it. They get one crack at the can there, but they create another opportunity, and Mr. Ware, the guy that we say is there for his defensive capabilities, puts Cardiff on the scoreboard.
Humberside keeping up the pressure and leading by 2-1. Just under 4.5 minutes remaining on the period. Doug Smale holding his man up against the boards, but it comes loose. Great work again there by Graham Garden. But this is Doug Smale, has a man to his left. Neil Francis is there, great effort, hits the post, and the rebound put in by Doug Smale. Francis hit the post, and Smale slotted home to level the match at Cardiff 2, Humberside 2.
We talk about tic-tac-toe passing, but this one's right off the goal post. 2-on-1 situation. Neil Francis gets a crack at it. Back to Doug Smale again, and he slams it home into the empty net. But this is a beautiful 2-on-1 situation. Great instrumentation.
The referee, Dave McGowan, is getting in the way there. And Cardiff would have liked that. But great skating here by the speedy Chris Imers. Could this be a chance? Here's Graham Garden. Oh, a great save by Stevie Lyle, who got across his goal mighty quickly there to save the day for the Cardiff Devils. Last few seconds of the period here. Another chance. Set one into the side netting. That one, Lyle didn't hold, but away comes Doug Smale, and there goes the hooter at the end of the period. A marvellous period of ice hockey that saw the Humberside Hawks go 2 in front through Derek Laxdell and Darcy Cahill. The Cardiff Devils came back well. A great goal from Greg Ware, an equally good one from Doug Smale, and that's produced an end to the period with the teams level pegging at Humberside Hawks 2, Cardiff Devils 2.
This playoff quarter-final looks to be closer than that game. 2-2 at the end of the first period. Shots on goal, pretty even. The Hawks just ahead there. Even 2 on penalty minutes. And just 1 power play goal so far. That was for the Hawks. And with me is Bob Correll. And Bob, if you were still playing, you'd know that you'd been in a game. That's bruising.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's tough going out there, and especially these players around in front of that net, you know, because they're trying to plug the view of the goalkeepers. And it's out-and-out war, if you like. I'll tell you, I'm glad I'm up here.
But actually, there is quite a fair amount of room. And early on, Humberside really exploited that. Darcy Cahill with a great goal.
Well, he's a very good player. He's a very natural player. He's so gifted. And it's not very often you're going to beat Stephen Cooper wide. But he shows a lot of composure here, because look at him hang on to the puck before he creates that little bit of extra space, I should say, that he needs to score the goal. Now that he knows he's got him beat, there's where the composure comes in. A little more time, and puts it in.
And that's going past one of the best defensemen and one of the best netminders in the business.
It is. And he had such a tight space there, if you like, but he managed to come through. Great natural play.
Cardiff have great talent, but earlier on they were just a little under the cosh from Humberside, and then they turned it around.
Well, they do. But they've got so many explosive players, I should say. A lot of guys that can come up big for them and do the job. And you know, if you're speaking about a guy that's going to do that, it's got to be number 11, Doug Smale. Now, he's got a tremendous amount of experience. 2-on-1 situation, Neil Francis out of the picture, puck comes over, right back to Doug Smale off the goal post, and that's in the back of the net. But he knows he's got that option there, and he waits for the right time to get that pass across. He just manages to get it back again. luck comes in major ways.
He should have scored the first time, really.
He should have.
Okay, so 2-2, that's pretty fair, really.
I think so. I think it's a good result. Cardiff coming from behind, they've got to be pleased with that. I think we're in for a very exciting game, Steve.
Well, the Devils coming back into it towards the end of the first period, proving they are a threat to Humberside in this rink. There's another threat to the club as well, as we can find out now with Gia.
Well, I'm downstairs here with the chairperson of the Hawks Supporters Club, right over here, Mark Bagley. Mark, how you doing?
Hi there, fine, thank you.
Now, what kind of things does the Hawks Supporters Club do?
Well, we organise all the travel to away games. We produce a monthly newsletter, and also we did a big handbook at the start of this year, which completely sold out. So really to keep contact with the fans throughout the year, and also throughout the summer months as well, so people know what's going on at the rink.
And how many members do you have?
We've got about 250, which is about a quarter of the average fan base at the moment.
Well, you do have really good support here, but you've got some kind of badness looming on the horizon. Can you tell everybody what might be happening to the Hawks?
Certainly, we've got very bad news. Up to now, the rink and the team have been owned by the Humberside County Council. They're being abolished at the end of this month, and Hull City Council are taking over. They're taking on the rink, but they're not taking on the team. So unless we get a private buyer, we might not have a team next season.
So British Aerospace doesn't help you in this at all?
Right, yes, Aerospace are one of the main sponsors, but they don't want to be the only one. So we need other sponsors to come in, and hopefully Aerospace are willing to continue next season and joining together to make sure we've got a really good team and really good support for next season.
All right, well, if anybody out there has any money that can help the Hawks, get in touch with Mark here, and good luck next year.
Okay, thanks very much.
Back upstairs to you, Steve.
Okay, I'm just checking my pockets, but I don't think I've got enough spare cash for that. It would be a great shame, of course, if the Humberside Hawks were to go out of business. There'd be some very, very disappointed fans of ice hockey in this part of the country. But in the meanwhile, young and old fans from all walks of life here are looking forward to the second and third periods of this game. Crucial playoff match between two sides chasing a Wembley place. It's close. It's going to get closer. Stay watching on Sky. Well, it's been a rough game so far, but I don't think that wee kiddie needs his helmet in the crowd. 2 points all in Championship quarter-final Group B between Humberside and Cardiff, and 2 goals all between the two clubs after one period of their game in the Humberside Ice Arena. Commentary on period 2 now with Bob Correll and Tony Millard.
With level pegging and 2 periods to go, this is a vital game because it could decide which of these two teams goes to Wembley. Either Cardiff or Humberside. Durham looks set for the top place, but who knows? These two have to meet again next weekend as well, but this is going to be vital. Goals from Derek Laxdell and Darcy Cahill have counted so far for Humberside, the home side in white. Goals from Greg Ware and the veteran Doug Smale put Cardiff back in the game.
Good save, Brucey. Hey, let's go, Bruce.
Bob, the start of the second period, will it be the same frenetic play as we saw in the first? It's tough, isn't it?
It is. It's bump and grind style out there. But the thing is this first goal is going to be very important. Cardiff have the momentum at the moment, haven't they?
But Humberside the possession as referee David McGowan gets them underway. This is Ian Cooper, 66 down in front of us. Humberside once again break it up on the edge of the blue line. Important role, Derek Laxdell back there helping out. Good skating by Laxdell with a shot off target though. 23 is Graham Garden. Drops there, good save by Stevie Lyle at point blank range because that was tight and that was sharp.
Barclay Pearce there, he can shoot the puck as well. The puck deep in the zone. All kinds of action going in front of the net. But it's Mr. Pearce. A bit of a bad angle there. But, you know, Stevie Lyle did a great job because why? He hung on to that puck. No rebounds.
Humberside Hawks 2, the Cardiff Devils 2 with a face-off deep in the Cardiff defensive zone. Quick on the draw was Randy Smith, ringing that for Cardiff. It's important. Eventually the long clearance. Cam planted his 22. He's being harried and hassled behind his own net. Ivan Matulik it was that slipped over and We've got a penalty call here, which happened right in front of referee Dave McGowan. It's Peter Smith of Cardiff that's going to go to the box, and we're going to get a power play the way of Humberside. There comes that man, Doug Smale, on the ice to help Cardiff's cause. We're halfway through the penalty. Darcy Cahill in possession for Humberside. Still. Shannon Hope. Cahill wins it back to Barclay Pearce. Mike Bishop is there. Two men back on point. Pearce is back here. Cam Plant is back here. Half a minute remaining on the power play. Barclay Pearce it is from the blue line. Puts Humberside Hawks in front. It was tic-tac-toe passing, and Pearce finished it off there with his 21st goal in Humberside's colours.
A lot of composure on this power play, taking their time, passing the puck back and forth, waiting for Bishop to obstruct the view. Stevie Lyle with no chance in that situation. He never saw a thing.
The icing call will take the puck down into the Humberside defensive zone. And we've got another penalty called here by the overworked Dr. David McGowan. This time I think it's a high sticks call on 66 for Cardiff, which is Ian Cooper.
Perhaps frustration setting a little bit in on the Devils there, not having a lot of success on that power play situation. Ian Cooper finds himself sitting 2 minutes. Lots of discipline by the Humberside Hawks.
The vital presence of Doug Smale out there for Cardiff at the moment, because the power play is with Humberside Hawks. And remember, they've already scored 2 power play goals this evening. This is Darcy Cahill. Barclay Pearce, number 16, is on the puck. Cahill has men out here on point. That is Pearce. Mike Bishop's back as well. Puck held up in the corner. Just over 3 minutes remaining on the period. And Humberside still leading by 3 goals to 2. Cam Plant is on 22. Comes across to Bishop. There goes the shot. It's in the net. Mike Bishop scores number 4 for Humberside. A vital power play goal. Humberside's 3rd power play goal of the evening. And their captain, Mike Bishop, celebrates.
Lots of composure out there by these Humberside Hawks. And the way that they move that puck around, but they get it back to the guy that they know is going to be able to shoot the puck. They key on him all the time. Big Mike Bishop, because he's got a stone wall of a shot from the point. But look at the composure here. Take your time in the zone. Wait for that right opportunity. Boom, she goes in.
With Humberside leading then by 4 goals to 2, and there's a distinct difference in the way these teams have taken advantage of power play situations this evening. Humberside have looked organised and composed and have scored 3 power play goals. The Cardiff have failed to capitalise on any of the situations where they've had a man advantage.
They speak about that. Specialty team situations. It's the team that wins the battles in those situations. When we say specialty teams, whether you've got a power play or you're shorthanded, specialty teams. Humberside's winning those battles at the moment.
Chance again for Mike Bishop. That one just off target. Bishop is now playing like a man inspired, the Humberside captain. Here he comes again. Jason Stone for Cardiff. Can he set his team going? 66 here is Ian Cooper. Cooper fires it in, over the bar. Doug McEwen's going to chase this, and wins it. And keeps the puck. And once again, the sheer presence, weight of numbers from Humberside wins the day in the end. This is Graham Gordon getting number 5. Graham Gordon on the break there. Some might have thought the pass out was across 2 lines, but Graham Gordon made it. The officials let it go on. And now Humberside lead by
slap shot here. Really a one-on-one situation, a defenseman back. Garden just lets the shot go. Stevie Lyle, perhaps a little too far back in his net there, not counting the angle down that he possibly could have. But all credit due, great shot to Graham Garden.
Well, with Humberside Hawks leading by 5 goals to 2, just over a minute and a half remaining on the period, Cardiff have a mounted decline.
It's been a very valid second period. It's been all Humberside Hawks. And Cardiff have got to stop the rot at this point in time if they hope at all to get themselves back into this game. Hey, listen, it also could come down to goals for and against, so Cardiff have got to try and get themselves back into this.
Well, Big Mike Ware can play his part as he fires the puck round behind the net. Matulik collects it, but bringing it away is Cam Plant for Humberside. Fires it in, knocked down by Stevie Lyle. Well, Cardiff are changing their goaltender. Stevie Lyle is going off, having let in 5 goals, and Jason Wood is going between the posts. The 23-year-old replaces the 16-year-old. A change in mid-game, a change in mid-period, and that for Cardiff is unusual.
It is. Stevie Lyle has been brilliant in these playoffs. I know that he suffered a little bit of an injury there in that Newcastle game where he managed to gain a shutout. But it's been a difficult game for him. He's had a lot of pressure on him, and he's still a youngster, but he'll gain by the experience.
80 seconds remaining on the period, with Cardiff having changed their goaltender. Will it change their luck? Humberside lead by 5 goals to 2. And here comes Barclay Pearce, number 16. Greg Ware's across well. The chance here with the puck running loose in the end. And here comes Cardiff. Can they pull it back? Big Mike Ware is 26. Barred around the net by Randy Smith. Matulik right across the goal. John Wolfe hardly saw that one. Here comes Humberside. Could this be number 6? This is Graham Garden. Scored the last one. Flicked in. Great effort. Derek Laxdale's second goal of the game. And Humberside are running riot.
Oh, baby, when it rains, does it pour? I can tell you that. But here's a good bit of natural ability by Derek Laxdale. Look at the nice little tuck there just underneath the pad of Jason Wood. Graham Garden, he knows that he's got to get that puck across. The guy that's going to do the damage, Derek Laxdale. And that's the goal that may have shot the Wolf.
Well, it's showtime here at Humberside because that was a trick shot out of the top draw. First shot faced by Jason Wood, who's now leaving the ice because a penalty is being awarded against Humberside, which will give Cardiff a power play. And referee David McGowan, the tubby little doctor from San Jose, knows he's been in a match because Mark Hazelhurst is going to serve yet another penalty, his 4th of the night.
Mr. Hazelhurst not happy. 2 minutes for tripping. But his team in a very commanding lead at this point in time. And you never like to be in a shorthanded situation, but if there's any time to do it, I suppose now is as good as any, huh, Tony? Stephen Cooper just trying vividly there to get the puck in the zone. His display of pace interrupted by the big Mark Hazelhurst, who's been steady out there in defense tonight.
Well, with the power play, 24 seconds of the period remain. Can Cardiff pull at least one of these goals back? We know that they're going to have a fight on the hand in the final period, come hell or high water. Here comes Cardiff. Great skating from Doug Smale, and a great goal from Doug Smale! A classic goal from Doug Smale. The veteran has slotted home his 2nd of the night, and Cardiff are still alive.
Cardiff Devils making short change of this. But this guy's as quick as a cat. Dougie Smale sees the far side of the net there. Stephen Cooper gaining the momentum, giving the puck to the guy that's got the speed. Great move there by Dougie Smale. Leaves no mistake on that shot.
We've seen some magnificent goals here tonight. That the first in 5 attempts at a power play goal for Cardiff. The seconds are counting down. A marvellous second period has ended with Humberside leading by 6 goals to 3. It started at 2-2, but goals for Humberside from Barclay Pearce, from their captain Mike Bishop, from Graham Garden and Derek Laxdale, a classic. Cardiff had just 1 power play goal in reply from Doug Smale. There's all to play for, with Cardiff down by 6 goals to 3. Humberside 6, Cardiff 3. The third period action follows after this.
A crucial game for both clubs on the road to Wembley. Humberside leading Cardiff 6-3 after 2 periods. Can the Cardiff Devils come back against the Hawks, who could get closer to Wembley if they win this game? Commentary on the third period now with Bob Correll and Tony Millard.
Well, so far it's been a contrast in styles, and Humberside Hawks have come out best on that. Cardiff from 5 attempts, just 1 power play goal. And we now see that Stevie Lyle is back in goal for Cardiff, having missed just 80 seconds at the end of that second period. Bob Correll, it's going to be tough for Cardiff.
Cardiff have got to try and play together as a unit. Coming out into this third period, bit of individual effort if you like, and they find themselves behind the 8 ball, but goals for and against is going to be very crucial in this end of the competition, so they've got to continue to try and get those goals back to stay in contention.
Well, Stevie Lyle is back in goal for Cardiff, having missed the last 80 seconds of the second period. Jason Wood, in fact, let a goal in with the only shot, I think, on his net. But we're away for the third period. I'm sure that Humberside will probably try and keep it composed, Bob, and Cardiff have got to open it out.
Defense will be the key for the Humberside Hawks. They've got to try and keep it tight. Make sure that they pick their men up.
Well, the icing call there as the puck is fired in from the defensive side of the red line by Cardiff, and they won't want too many face-offs down there. Doug Smale beaten to that, but Ian Pound has been influential tonight, number 6 for Humberside, and here he comes. When a giant like that goes down the ice, and there's going to be a penalty call here. And referee Dave McGowan has decided that Doug Smale it is that's going to go to the box, and that could hit Cardiff hard.
Dougie Smale very rarely caught in that situation, but Ian Pound has been like a tower of strength back there for the Humberside Hawks. Taking that puck forward, just being very solid back there, and making the crucial play all the time, not taking any chances.
Well, Doug Smale has scored 2 goals this evening for Cardiff out of the 3 they've scored, and they'll miss him for 2 minutes. He's vital to their cause here. They're up against it.
Not only that, Tony, but you know who the Devils key to when it comes to these penalty killing situations. Their best penalty killers, where's he sitting in the penalty box?
Not the ideal situation, but here comes Humberside. Barclay Pearce runs straight into Stephen Cooper. Mike Bishop is here with the shot. In the net, straight through the legs of Stevie Lyle, who's not having a great night. And Mike Bishop has grabbed his 2nd goal of the game, and it could be all over for Cardiff now.
More of the same thing. Cam Plant, again, keying to nobody else but Mike Bishop, because he's the guy with the brilliant slap shot from the point. Stevie Lyle saw that the whole way and essentially just allowed that to get in underneath them.
Here goes Doug Smale. Can the veteran capitalize? Ian Pound is there again. Here comes Mike Kindred, 29 for Humberside. Here comes Cardiff once again pushing forward. Neil Francis has an opportunity, but this Humberside side at the back is effective there. Kindred takes a well-deserved rest. Out comes the giant Hazelhurst alongside Mike Bishop at the back. 23 is Graham Garden. Great skating of him. Cardiff being hustled and bustled, and they really can't get a clear move. This is Ian Cooper. fires the puck into the corner. John Wolfe receiving great protection from his defence, and that perhaps is the difference between the sides here this evening.
It has. They stuck very well together. Cardiff trying a little.
Well, Cardiff are really up against it here, and their goaltenders are not having the best of times as Grant Garden slotted home his second goal of the game to make it Humberside 8, Cardiff 3.
When it rains, it pours. Bit of an innocent shot here. But Jason Wood just caught unprepared, if you like. No other reason other than that.
Well, there's the scoring percentage. Humberside Hawks, 8 goals from 29 shots. Cardiff Devils, well, 3 from 25. That tells a story. Well, they're certainly happy here on Humberside this evening.
One thing about playoff hockey, though, Tony, you've got to try and gain your composure because you've got little time to do it. It's not like during the regular season, is it, where, you know, you lose 1 or 2 games, you're still not out of contention. But in this situation, you lose 1 or 2, and you face the opportunity of not representing it at Wembley.
Well, the puck's still in play. They're coming back off the plexiglass. But somehow Cardiff have got to conjure up something here. But I don't somehow think they're going to score 5 more goals than Humberside during the remaining 10 minutes of the period. It needs a miracle to help the Devils. And that was one perhaps there because the goaltender John Wolfe is weak and Steve Moria has scored goal number 4 for the Cardiff Devils.
Perhaps a bit of, but lots of room here for Steve Moria, just in over the blue line. John Wolfe maybe a bit unexpected on that shot, but it manages to cross the goal line just ever so gently. Steve Moria, he is such a good skater and a good goal scorer, and any opportunity you give him around that net, he's going to get a scoring chance for you.
Great work from Ivan Matulik here. Could he get a goal for Cardiff? Oh, it's high, it's wide, and it's punched away almost by John Wolfe and Mark Hazelhurst with a pass almost reminiscent of some of the England's three-quarters.
This is a bit of a difficult call. Mark Hazelhurst here, grabbing the puck, throwing out of the zone. Delay of game situation. Here's a guy with a head of steam up, Ivan Matulik, and he's breaking down hard. Just gets that shot away, but look at the stride that he's got. Boys, he got some power in the way that he skates. But there's the infraction. Picked the puck up and threw it out.
And as a result of which, he's in the penalty box is Mark Hazelhurst, and now a rare power play the way of the Cardiff Devils. Of Paul Heavey, one must wonder at the moment because it's all falling apart for his team here this evening. 23 seconds now remain on the power play the way of the Cardiff Devils. They've surely got to score soon if they're going to make anything of this. Just 10 seconds remaining on this power play with the Humberside goal under siege, and the puck going into the net and taking a deflection there. The shot going in from Doug McEwen on point, but seemingly a touch in front of the crease to complete the effort and make it Humberside 8, Cardiff 5.
I think we have to say that it was only a question of time, but Dougie McEwen has plenty of it right at the point there, and he lets that shot go, but it's all the action in front of John Wolfe, as he would rarely see that puck coming in at him. There's nothing there. He's just hoping to stop something.
Just under 3 minutes remaining, and Humberside leading 8-5. Could this be the crucial game that sends the Hawks on their way to Wembley? Greg Ware, the giant number 2 for Cardiff. This is Matulik, number 22. Great skating, great cover, but he appears to be hooked down. He wonders what happened there, but Ian Pound, such a vital influence in defence for Humberside. Puck comes loose. Wolf is equal to it. Sticks flying around in the goal crease. Here's Ian Pound. Flicked back by Greg Ware, but out it comes. This is Graham Garden. Shot from Derek Laxdale. In goes the rebound. Barclay Pearce had a great opportunity, but somehow it missed the net. Puck held up. End to end and pretty quick.
It's been great. The other thing is Cardiff have not let down. They've worked very hard to try and keep themselves in this game. They're talking about goals for and against, but what a lot of pressure they put on John Wolf in that last few minutes there. Humberside coming equal to the task. Here's a 3-on-2 situation with a shot coming, and it's just bouncing around there like it's in a pinball machine, but it manages to elude the goal line and stays out of the net.
Puck controlled well by Chris Imers. Jason Stone picks up the loose puck for Cardiff. Stephen Cooper looking for Rob Millett. Doug Smale trying to force errors. Pushes Darcy Cahill over. The Humberside fans are on their feet calling for a penalty. Comes back to Stephen Cooper. Shot goes in. Takes a deflection, and Stephen Cooper has put the puck in the net for number 6 for Cardiff.
Once again, it's plugging up the front of that net that gives some opportunity and success for the Cardiff Devils. Pure hard work there. Stephen Cooper coming in from the point. He's the shooter again. But John Wolf, no chance in that situation. Look at how that front of that net is going to be plugged up here. No opportunity whatsoever for John Wolf.
Well, the goal counts to Stephen Cooper. A grandstand finish we suggested for Cardiff. With a minute and a half remaining. The Humberside fans are getting behind their team. The Cardiff fans away to our left. They're shouting for their favourites as well. Here comes Graham Garden. Knocked down by Jason Wood. Can Cardiff salvage anything from this? Just under a minute remaining. Cardiff have taken their goaltender off away to our right. Now he's got to go back. Cardiff in disarray. They get possession here.
Now we realize how important goals for and against are going to be. Cardiff taking that opportunity to pull their goaltender, get the extra attacker, and probably get another goal.
There's only 30 seconds remaining. It's Graham Garden in possession. Surely the offside call here taken in by Derek Laxdale with Garden in front of him. With 27 seconds left, Humberside Hawks lead the Cardiff Devils by 8 goals to 6.
It may all be too late tonight, but Cardiff has certainly showed a lot of inspiration in these last 10 minutes to bring this game back into contention, if you like, and bring in the score line a lot more realistic.
Well, we've certainly had some game. Humberside Hawks with their tight and uninhibited defence there has certainly paid off for them. Cardiff haven't been allowed to settle. Seven seconds remaining. Here comes Cardiff. Time counting down. Here comes Graham Garden. Just over 10 seconds. They're already cheering at the Humberside bench down in front of us. Randy Smith with a long-range shot. Could Cardiff pull one back? There goes the hooter. It's all come alive here in the Humberside Ice Arena. A marvellous victory for their favourites, the Humberside Hawks, by 8 goals to 6. 2 goals apiece from captain Mike Bishop and Derek Laxdale and Graham Garden. A goal each from Barclay Pearce and Darcy Cahill. Cardiff have always been up against it. They were 2-0 down in the first period but pulled back to 2-2. 2 goals from the veteran Doug Smale. Goals apiece from Greg Ware, Steve Moria, Doug McEwen and Stephen Cooper. But it's all ended in victory for the Hawks by 8 goals to 6. A marvellous performance by the men from Humberside.
It'd be strange not to see the Cardiff Devils at Wembley, but they might not make it after losing Humberside Hawks 8, the Devils 6 in the Humberside Ice Arena. Not a great deal of difference. In fact, the Devils even one shot more on shots on goal. And look, 7 power plays for the Cardiff Devils to only 4 for the Hawks, but crucially coming up big on the power play, 4 goals to 2 in favour of the Hawks, and that, I'm sure, made a big difference at the end. Well, it certainly was a great game and one that the Humberside Hawks managed to hang on to in the end, although I suppose you'd say they deserved the game. We'll now find out exactly how they feel about their victory over the Cardiff Devils because their coach, Keith Milhenge, is with Jim Milinovich.
Well, I'm down here at the locker rooms with the coach of the Humberside Hawks, Keith Milhenge.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Now, what a great start for you here at Humberside.
Yeah, it's been positive. You know, the first game we blew out Newcastle here, and I was pleased with the guys' effort. I was pleased with the attitude. The attitude's all. And second game up in Durham, I mean, we were going to be all over them the first night anyways. I thought, you know, we got some bad calls. We got a high penalty count, which I would say 25% attributed to ourselves. But I was happy with tonight, and, you know, we're nicely situated right now.
Now, you were brought in as coach for the playoffs. What was your brief?
My brief was, you know, I'm not going to change a lot of systems coming at this time of year. What I told the guys, etc., is I want passion, okay? And my employers wanted the passion as well. I mean, that's the brief. And you get guys together, you get attitude in a team, like any team sport, a lot of things can happen. And I think we're showing that to everybody concerned.
Great. Well, I just want to say before we go that it's nice to see a big mustache here in the coaching seat at Humberside.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual, isn't it? Yeah. They used to say that down in Bracknell when I had them in the Premier. They said I was the biggest mustache. I actually think John had a little bigger one, you know, but there you go. Mustache, that is.
Oh, well, sizes and everything. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
I don't know whether it's the moustache that does it, but they certainly have something at Humberside. That was a great performance from Humberside, really.
Oh, they needed the victory, Steve. I mean, you know, playing in front of their hometown crowd there, and they worked very hard. Great team effort. They got the result that they needed.
Close after the first period, but then the Hawks really ran away with it in the second. They put great pressure on.
Yeah, they did. You know, we speak about specialty team situations, and anytime you give Humberside an inch, they're going to take a mile. Look at the slap shot here. Stevie Lyle actually out of his net to cut that angle down, but to no avail, really, because he just gets that shot away. Great bit of vision there to set Graham Garden in alone. Has that little bit of a look, just winds up and lets that shot go.
Clearly, the Devils were really reeling at that point. They were finding life very, very hard indeed.
Well, it seemed no matter how hard they tried, you know, they just seemed to dig themselves deeper and deeper into a hole. But one of the scenarios there is when you're digging yourself into a hole, the first thing you do is throw the shovel away, you see? And I think that's one of the things that, you know, Cardiff did because they reinstilled themselves a little bit in that third period.
Well, it was 6-3 going into the third period and another couple of goals at the start of the final period for Humberside. Mike Bishop scored and was a key man for them on the power play.
Well, they key to this guy on the power play, Mike Bishop, because he's got such a huge shot and he lets it go so very, very quick. Just that little cross-ice pass there, great vision, but it's a one-timer. You know, and Stevie Lyle saw it the whole way, but it just managed to elude him.
Stevie Lyle and Jason were both played in the game. The other goal that we're going to see now, the last goal for the Humberside Hawks, again, well, the netminders are going to have to look at themselves a bit, I think.
Well, I think this is one of the concerns, but, you know, I never like to blame netminders in any sort of situation. But I think in this particular instance, it was just perhaps a lack of concentration, and that caught Jason Wood just out of perspective, if you like.
So a little bit of disappointment for the Cardiff Devils. Paul Heavey, their coach, is with Gia.
Paul, now you guys seem to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. We've made it hard for ourselves. We just have to hope that we win or two games at home and rely on other teams to do the job for us.
So what's been going wrong? You finished so strong in the league and then you've just been having trouble in the playoff. What's the problem?
Well, we started well against Newcastle, you know, when we got a nice 4-0 result away from home. Back home the next night, we'd obviously a lot of travelling. Durham were fortunate enough to get their game abandoned, so they were a lot fresher. And, you know, I think that made a big difference. I don't think that's what cost us the game. Then again tonight, we had a tough game last night against Durham, and, you know, we could have got a point or a win easily, you know, it could have went either way. And then Humberside had the night off, and again, they were a lot stronger. And in the same token, we had a lot of power plays over the weekend and we never capitalised for one reason or another. And tonight, Humberside did capitalise on our power plays, you know. And I think goaltending had a big bearing on the game, you know. Both goaltenders that we played against were really, really hot. Stephen Foster last night and John Wolfe tonight. So it's been tough old slog, and you know, and we haven't had the bounces, but it's not over yet, you know. Hopefully if we can win our 2 home games, and you know, maybe Durham will beat Humberside and somebody will do us a favour, we'll still go through.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us and good luck.
You're welcome, thanks. Cheers.
Paul Heavey with GA. Am I right in thinking, Bob, that really Cardiff's problem has been in the head rather than their ability on the ice?
Well, I think that they've probably got to have a bit of a look at themselves and start playing together as a unit, because, boy, you know, this team has really got tremendous talent. There's no question about that, you know, and they're perhaps trying to do it individually. But if they regroup, they've still got that opportunity to qualify, you know, and that's the scope that they've got to take at this stage.
OK, well, Bob Correll will definitely be going to Wembley. Thanks very much to him. If you'd like to go to Wembley, but you can't go because all the tickets are sold out for the finals, well, don't despair just yet, because we've got a couple to give away.
The playoff finals at Wembley are the climax to the ice hockey season, with a great weekend of action guaranteed. Wembley is already a sellout, but if you are unable to get tickets, then now's your chance. Ice Warriors has a pair of Wembley season tickets to give away. That's seats for you and a friend to see both the semi-finals and the final. All you have to do is answer this question. Who did the Sheffield Steelers beat in the final last year to win the championship? Was it A, Cardiff, B, Edinburgh, or C, Blackburn? Who did the Sheffield Steelers beat in the final last year to win the championship? A, Cardiff, B, Edinburgh, or C, Blackburn? To enter the competition, ring with your answer to 0891 40 50 16. That's 0891 40 50 16. And the closing date is Monday, the 25th of March. Good luck.
Yes, good luck in the competition. If you win, who will you be watching at Wembley? Well, that will be a little clearer after we've brought you right up to date with the 1996 Championship quarterfinals in Rink Roundup. Basingstoke went into the game unbeaten, top of the group, and knowing a win would almost clinch their Wembley place. But it was the Panthers in black, needing to win to keep their semi-final hopes alive, that opened the scoring with a shot through the crowd from the right wing by Simon Hunt midway through the first period. Although Nottingham had netminder Scott O'Connor to thank for keeping that lead through until the first break, keeping out everything the Bison could throw at him. And within a couple of minutes of the restart, that lead had been doubled. A slap shot from defenceman Darren Durdle, making it 2-0, the goal coming on a 5-on-3 power play. The Bison, though, stormed back in front of a sellout crowd with 2 goals in little more than a minute. The second from Chris Chard midway through the period to tie the scores at 2-all. But he was then cross-checked, with the resulting flare-up giving Nottingham another 2-man advantage. And they made the most of the 5-on-3 power play to get back control of the game. Paul Adey taking advantage of Basingstoke's defensive calamities to put the Panthers 3-2 up. In fact, by the end of the second period, the Panthers were 5-2 ahead. Top scorer Adey with his second of the night, starting the breakaway. And after Simon Hunt's shot was blocked, Adey sent the Panthers into the third period with a 3-goal cushion. And in that final period, he completed his hat-trick to give Nottingham a 6-3 win, ensuring a tense weekend ahead for both clubs, neck and neck in the chase for a Wembley spot. A week after losing 11-0 at home to Sheffield, Fife faced the daunting prospect of a visit to the House of Steel. But they managed to frustrate the league champions for 16 minutes until veteran Chris Kellan scored the first of 2 for the Steelers in the opening period. And the Flyers performed even better in the second, Ian Robertson scoring the only goal of the middle session as he became the first player to get a shot past Sheffield for over 169 minutes of playoff action. In the final period, though, Sheffield's Nicky Chin settled the issue, putting last year's playoff winners top of Group A and eliminating Fife from this year's championship. Newcastle made the short journey to Sunderland with a depleted team, but got no sympathy from local rivals Durham, who after a season of injuries are hitting top form at the perfect time. Kip Noble opening the scoring in this game with one of 2 goals late in the first period. It reflects great credit on Newcastle that they only conceded 1 goal in the second period. Jana Saver doing the work behind the net, and another Finn, Mikko Niemi, making it 3-0 to the home side. There was little likelihood of the Warriors scoring, though. Wasps netminder Stephen Foster produced the 4th shutout of the '96 playoffs, and Ross Lambert produced one of 2 goals in the final period, as Wasps became the first team to clinch a place at Wembley. After their terrific end-of-season run-in to make the playoffs, Newcastle's quarter-final form has been hugely disappointing. Without 6 regulars, they were quickly in trouble again. Humberside 3-0 up in under 6 minutes. Chris Imers with a 1/3 of those goals. Newcastle then bounced back with 2 first-period goals of their own. The second of those came from Lars Tunnell at point, a minute and a half from the break, to end the first period with Hawks' lead cut to 3-2. The second period, however, did prove decisive in Humberside's favour. They scored 4 goals without reply, including an agile tip-in from Derek Laxdal, one of 4 on the night for him, to give Humberside a 7-2 lead to take into the third period. And in that final period, there were 5 goals, 3 of them for the visitors, Ian Pound completing a 10-4 victory, and the Hawks now need just 1 point from the final weekend to qualify for Wembley at Cardiff's expense. So, going into the final weekend of playoffs, Sheffield lead Group A, but only by 1 point from Nottingham and Basingstoke, perm any 2 from those 3 for places at Wembley. In Group B, Durham have already qualified for the semi-finals with a maximum 8 points so far. Humberside need just 1 more point to be certain of their place and eliminate Cardiff. The next couple of days will complete the semi-final lineup. Saturday's fixtures see Sheffield travel to Nottingham and Basingstoke visit Fife in Group A, whilst Humberside against Durham is a crucial game for all 3 contenders in Group B. On Sunday, we'll be live in Fife, where Nottingham will be trying to clinch a Wembley place, whilst Sheffield take on Basingstoke, and Cardiff Humberside could still be a head-to-head for second place in Group B. In the promotion and relegation playoffs last Saturday, Premier Division Milton Keynes lost 8-5 in Blackburn, whilst in Group B, First Division champions Manchester won 7-2 against the other Premier Division side, Slough. Whilst on Sunday, Milton Keynes won in Bracknell, Blackburn drew in Guildford, there was a surprise Group B defeat for Manchester in Dumfries, and more misery for Slough, losing at home to Swindon. And then on Wednesday, Manchester took a huge step towards winning Group B with an 11-3 win over Swindon. With 2 rounds of games left, Group A is wide open. Any of the 4 could still win it. Milton Keynes have a 2-point lead over Bracknell, and they meet on Sunday. Whilst in Group B, Manchester's only threat is Dumfries. They meet in Manchester on Sunday. Slough could well finish bottom to end a miserable season for them.
Well, the climax of the season, the playoff finals are coming up, and of course you can catch both the semi-finals and the final exclusively here on Sky the last weekend of March. And here's just a little taster of the kind of action you can look forward to.
Wembley semi-final lineup will definitely be decided on Sunday. We'll be live in Kirkcaldy and keep you in touch with the rest of the games as the quarter-finals are concluded. That's all live on Sky from 6:30 this Sunday.
On Saturday, March 30th, you can catch both of the semi-finals from Wembley Arena. The first semi-final is live at 12:50 on Sky Sports. The second one is at 9:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 2. And the following day is the big day. It's the final from Wembley Arena. That's Sunday, March 31st, live at 1 p.m. on Sky Sports 2.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And Gia, I know you've been to some big games back in the States, but you've never been to a British final at Wembley.
No, I haven't. I'm really looking forward to it. I hear it's a fantastic weekend.
It is, and there's nothing quite like it, except maybe watching it here on Sky.
But before then, please do not forget to join us on Sunday. Till then, goodbye.
Goodbye.